everyone. So at AquaMobile, we've grown from 0 to over seven figures of annual revenue, and we've done this, as Alex mentioned, without raising any funds. And so because of this, we have to get extra creative when it comes to growing our company on a limited budget. And so one of the things we've done is we've leveraged the power of networking to help us grow. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to try and cram in as much knowledge as possible and give a few examples of how we've leveraged the power of networking at AquaMobile, and then give you some tips so that you can become master networkers yourself. So what networking does is it brings those 6 degrees of separation and brings it down to 1 or 2 degrees of separation, which is exactly where you want to be to make the magic happen. So at AquaMobile, this has allowed us to form partnerships that have helped increase our revenue. Networking has helped us find superstar team members to join AquaMobile. And for me, also on a personal note, it's really helped to grow the network of other entrepreneurs and advisors that I can tap into when I need help, whether it's just moral support or when I have a question of something I'm unsure to do, of how to act. I have a number of people that I can reach out to. So a few examples that I wanted to share with you tonight of how networking has helped AquaMobile. So in one case, another fellow entrepreneur, actually from RateHub, which has already been mentioned here tonight, she invited me to a local networking event put on by Dell, and it was for other local women entrepreneurs in Toronto. And after several years of attending the local events, I finally got invited to the big international event where they hand select 100 female entrepreneurs from around the world. And aside from being able to attend an awesome event in South Africa this past summer and meet 100 other female entrepreneurs from around the world, I met a journalist who really liked the AquaMobile story and thought of many different ways that she would want to feature AquaMobile in different articles. And so because of this, one of the articles ended up being in Forbes and got over 40,000 views. So that was huge for AquaMobile's brand awareness. Another example, just right here in Toronto, one night on the Spoke Club patio, a local place downtown on King West, struck up a conversation with a random stranger, and throughout the course of the conversation, AquaMobile came up. And when he heard what I did, he's like, I have to introduce you to a friend of mine. He does something similar in a different space, and his friend ended up being Tony Valley, who's the CEO of College Pro Painters. And several years after that Spoke Club meeting, I ended up, over the course of the several years, I nourished that bond with Tony, and he's become an advisor at AquaMobile for the past few years. And that all just started with a random night at Spoke Club. The other thing, with Doughboy Pools, Doughboy is they're a very large pool manufacturer, in-ground pool manufacturer across North America. And he actually, one of the Canadian distributors, heard me speak at an event and reached out to me after the event. He came up and talked to me, and he thought of ways that we could be partners together. And so we formed that partnership, which has been fruitful in itself. But also because of that partnership, he opened my eyes to a whole other set of partnership opportunities that I never would have thought of had I not met him that one day when I was giving a talk. I've shown you a few examples of how networking can go right, but it's really important to be tactful when you're networking, because if you're not, sometimes, unfortunately, the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve can happen. So on that note, I want to share some tips with you that I think will help you all as you go forward with your networking, whether that be tonight or down the road. The first is to keep an open mind. It's impossible to tell who you're going to meet, where that connection is going to come from, but just know that that one key connection can come in any shape or form, or from anyone. So just keep an open mind when you're talking to people. The next is be vulnerable. The more you share about your company and about what you're struggling with, the more opportunity will be for someone to potentially open up themselves and tell a way that they can help you or connect you with someone that can help you out. Listen more than you speak. It's really important to listen. Not only will you learn more if you listen to people, it will also allow you to have something more interesting and compelling to say when you finally do get around to chatting and sharing what's been burning inside you when you're talking to that person. And be interesting. So make sure you do stuff outside of your entrepreneurial endeavor. As much as you love it and are passionate, do things like travel, participate in sports, have other interests, because those things will be key when you're out meeting people to try and find a common bond or some way that you can connect. So the more different interesting things that you have to talk about, the easier it will be to interact with different types of people. Let it happen organically. Don't worry about forcing a relationship with someone. Just be yourself. And be helpful. Remember that networking is not all about you. Pay it forward. If there's some way that you can give somebody advice or help someone out, open up and tell them that. And I guarantee you they will spend the rest of their time trying to find a way, whether it's then or 3 years from now, a way to be helpful to you. And follow up. It doesn't have to be a long novel, just a quick little line. Make sure that you, I'm sorry, I will finish up really quickly. Make sure that you follow up. Just a quick little note, doesn't have to be a long novel, and just let them know that you're now connected so you can reach out in the future. And the connection's been made. Bide your time. Don't feel that you have to have a big ask right now when you first reach out to somebody. Just don't waste your ask on something broad and just saying, I'd love to meet up for a coffee if you don't have that ask. Wait until you really need that person's advice, something that you can help them with. Because really busy people, successful people, don't have time necessarily unless it's a specific question that you're giving them. And practice. Above all, it takes time. If you practice and get out there, and tonight's the perfect opportunity to do that, you'll start getting more comfortable with your style and it will feel natural to you. And just remember, it only takes one good connection and it could pay off in spades for many years to come. Thank you.
Questions? Well, 1 minute, we'll get someone with a mic to you.
Okay.
Hey, I'm pretty loud. Just curious, how much do you actually pay your teachers?
So it depends on the region. So the price can be anywhere from $30 an hour upwards.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Do you want to be a teacher?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. Has being honest about your challenges ever had a negative effect? And if so, how do you screen for that?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Has being honest about your challenges ever had a negative effect or on a relationship? And if so, how do you screen for that?
No, honestly, for me, I'm an open book. People who know me know that. I'm willing to share. If people ask me questions, even if it's how much I pay my swim instructors, I'm willing to answer that. So, no, it's not, because I think people know that it's coming from a good spot. It's coming from an honest place. So I've never had a bad experience. I've only had better experiences, to be honest, because, like I said, people want to help other people, for the most part.
Last question.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Nicole.
What are some ways that you empower your junior staff to get out and network, either for themselves or on behalf of your company?
Yeah, great question. Well, to start, I have them come to events like this. So they are here. I have several AquaMobile staff here tonight. Hi, guys. So no, I encourage them to get out, meet other people in the community, because I think they've even seen firsthand how it's benefited AquaMobile, and so they know how important it is.
Thank you.